Hello, um, it's Prince Easy once again. And well, let's get to it, right? The milk, the meat lessons, right? In the name of progress, this is narrative control. Huh? So, this is from Psalms 106:29. You see, if you read the scriptures really, truly in detail, you realize that it truly is the truth when it says that there's nothing new under the sun, right? So even back then, our inventions were getting us into trouble. Okay? Our inventions or progress can quickly turn into a provocation. Okay? It can surely and truly walk into a provocation, provoking God. Okay? This is why I've been talking about them umbrellas, yeah? Them syringes. We call it progress, but really it's something much more. So what I've been really doing is stopping people from acting provocative. Okay? In the last video, we talked about some form of provocation. Okay? Well, now we're going to talk about inventions. Yeah? How our inventions, just like the Tower of Babel, was just an invention. But it turned into a provocation. Not that they could reach heaven and wage a war up there, but really it was their spirit, why they wanted to do it. It was in rebellion. Yes, so their invention turned into a provocation. So God does not take provocation really well. Right? So in this particular case in the Psalms, we see that their inventions led to the breaking out of plagues. This is a big problem, right? We are seeing it right now. We are seeing it playing out, yeah? And this was written a long time ago, but again, because it's the same criminals, the same demons, the same principalities, the same evil beings, fallen angels causing these problems. So, of course, there's going to be a repetition over time. So, I would urge us to be really careful. Okay? And the only way we can really and truly know if something provokes God is truly knowing God. That's all I can say about that. That's all I can say about that. How close are you to God to know what actually classifies as a form of provocation from His end? Okay, so how do we reach that understanding of knowing what is provocative and what is righteous, yeah? What pleases God, so as we can worship the right way, yeah? So in the issue of worship, I have been seeing clashes, yeah, in the Israelites that are awakening and in the Christian faith in general. Might even concern other faiths, but really it is the issue of opinions, laws, and traditions. Yeah, opinions, laws, and traditions. It seems to be a confusion and misunderstanding when it comes to these issues. You know? So let's talk about it. Let's cover on a case basis. I think it's a better approach, right? So the issue of pork or the old laws, yeah. Israel, the 12 tribes have difference of opinions, and they conflicts arise in the society pertaining to their meat preferences. You know, believe it or not, it even came up whilst Jesus was walking among men. He was asked in a trick type of situation, you know, and all he said is, if meat, in the context, if meat is the problem between us, then I shall not eat meat. You know, so in reality, the issue of pork has been addressed, but it's that people are just not listening really. God created the earth and everything that is in it, and the scripture says that whatever he created is good, just like him, the source of everything that is good, you know? So it was rather a traditional thing that somehow found its way into the law, but it was for the sake of peace, like that, yeah. But not that these animals had some form of sin within them that made them unworthy to be consumed by people. I don't think that's the case. And really it goes further into the issue of purity and impurity, generally, yeah. Some believe that if they eat the meat, they'll somehow become unclean, because they even point out and say that, look at the pig, you know, the pig is dirty. So I've even seen these new age spiritual gurus talking like this, you know. They say, since the creature is dirty, then you take the habit of the creature. They say these things, you know. They say these things. Well, all I can say about eating meat is that what makes a person impure is what comes out of them. What comes out of them, not what goes in. Because to be honest, the world will throw things at you, and there's no way to shield yourself from it. But what you can do is not pick up these things and, like I've said, you know, become a provocateur of the Creator. I don't think if that's the you can slowly become a creature that provoke their Creator. Okay, head covering for women, it goes the same way. You have to discern. Is it an opinion? Is it the law? Is it a tradition? or the hybrid of one of the two, or both of all of them three. The issue of the Catholics and the priests not being married, was that an opinion? Was that the law? Was that tradition? What was it? And I think we can use the scriptures to firmly establish, yeah, and even the issue of circumcision, yeah, the issue of circumcision is the same thing, you know. Well, I think it boils down to people thinking that external actions somehow mirror the internal ones, but really the internal ones should really be shown outside, you know. They even wanted to start an argument when the disciples of Christ went into a meeting and food was served and they didn't wash their hands, you know, and they had an issue with this. They had an issue with this, you know, and trying to make it seem like God is supposed to pick a side from our own faults. Okay, the division, they want to make it God's problem now, you know. But we know the law. Yeah? There are two of them. Even the laws of Moses are swallowed with these two laws. And they are first, love your Creator with all your heart, right? And then love thy neighbor. Simple as that. All of the laws of Moses can be boiled down to these two laws. Okay? It can simply be boiled down into these two laws. And what I want also to be understood is that how God perceives evil and good, or right and wrong, is not the same way as we do, right? We are under the law. God is not under the law. He's God, right? He's not under the law. He's not under anything. He's above it all. Okay? He even is above good and evil. Yeah, so we might see some examples of some atheists have even used to show that God is evil. Look at these examples. He drowned millions of people during the flood of Noah. You know, they do not want to serve this God who does such actions, you know. Well, that is just a human understanding. Okay, and these questions even make the whole situation rather worse, because it is that provocative habit. Okay, so we are under the law, hence we break the law, but God does not. He can't. Yeah, because he's not under the law. Okay, so our understanding of good and evil is not God's understanding of good and evil. Ours is rather oversimplification of the whole situation. You know, for instance, the scripture says God was pronouncing that he loves one child and hates the other, before they were even born. You know. Now to figure out what was being said here, it comes back to what I said before. How close are you to the Creator? How close are you spiritually? How well do you know Him? Because the first law is love God with all your heart, followed by love thy neighbor. Okay? And the first law is more powerful than the second, because the first law, if we truly love God, then we listen to what He says. Then what He says is love thy neighbor. You get it? But it's one law. But for the sake of human understanding, it had to be put into two groups. But it is the same law. Now, the issue with this society is that it is under the illusion that every faith out there serves the same God that Abraham served. Now, everybody has their own God, okay? Or whatever deity they choose to worship, free will, right? But that has an impact on everything in that person's life, right? So if they believe in a deity that, I don't know, is pleased with burnt offering of children, then we have examples, Balaam, the Israelites used to worship this deity, and it was a widespread faith. And this faith led to people sacrificing their own children. Now the example of that guy who was told to kill his son and offer them as a burnt offering. Well, that is that high understanding of things, and the whole point was that we should have complete faith in God, complete faith, so and that is hard, I know it's hard, because first you have to decide that you can truly place your faith in a certain deity. Okay, so I think, again, do your due diligence, okay, and if you find that deity to worship, then worship, but there are many gods out there. I think that should be recognized. There are many gods out there. So, yeah. It's the issue of circumcision also. Circumcision of the heart. Circumcision of the heart. Okay? It was supposed to be that they first get their hearts circumcised, and then they can have an external expression. But having an external expression without an internal meaning or depth, then it becomes futile. Yes, it becomes futile. So just, this was in no way script. It was just addressing this by example, but I truly believe that everything is within the scripture, and we can truly differentiate between opinions, the law of God, and traditions. And we shouldn't try to mix the law of God and our traditions. Okay, we are under our traditions, the laws of our traditions. We are under the law of God, but God is not there, under any of these two. Okay, so he has pointed out the right way to worship him. Okay, the only, for instance, the Christians, we call God Father. Okay, that's a distinctive feature. We address God as Father. Yeah. So, for instance, the Our Father, the prayer, right? That was an instruction of how to exactly position ourselves in relation to God and how do we talk to God. Okay, it had to be taught by himself, or else we'll be living in contradiction, believing that we serve one God, but yet we worship in different ways. That's impossible. that's impossible. Okay, that's impossible. If he is one, his truth is one, then why are there many? Then maybe we need to admit that indeed there are those who regard themselves to be God, but rather are not. They are not God, and they are not worthy of worship. Okay, they are not worthy of worship. So all of us have the ability, believers and non-believers, regardless, we have the ability to talk to God because He is our Father, right? And the only thing we need to do is just put ourselves in a position. We need to position ourselves, right, to receive. Just put ourselves in a position to receive the calling, to open that door, to truly find the true faith. Okay. So for others, it's a lifetime. Like faith is a gift. Faith is a gift that is bestowed to us, just like the scripture says, it's confusing like that. It says God save who he wants and doesn't save whomever he chooses. It is his choice, right? It is his choice. So if me and you are to find God, then it is up to God himself to reveal himself to us. Okay, and I can't specify which way he's going to reveal himself to you, but again, I'm under the law, he is not. So it's the conviction. Okay, you say to yourself, I want to truly serve the creator of this world, and I want to know the creator of this world. He's the father to humanity. I want to know him. Then again, it's a gift. It's a gift. That's all I can say. So let's move on. So this event, pink skies, pink skies, we talked about this a couple of months back. They were yapping all around saying that, communications might go out. They are trying out all of these emergency systems and this and that, and giving out warnings and blah 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 and this and that. Solar flare coming, and well, it came at night. Well, here is the difference, between the person who thinks that we're living in a ball and the other who says that they're living on a flat plane. Here's the difference to explain this phenomenon. Now, for me, for a person like me, believing that we live on a flat plane and not a ball spinning in vast space, we can't have solar flares at night. So this is a phenomenon that it's quite interesting, isn't it? If the sun is local, small, and not millions of kilometers away like they say, then we have a whole other perspective on this situation, and it connects to what we have been talking about in the whole electric nature of creation. Okay, just one of the one of the many forms that nature takes. One of it is electric, right? One of it is electric. So this is an electric phenomenon. And it goes on to say that how these things occur is by the atmosphere being energized, meaning that it holds charge, it holds electric charges. It holds electric charges, and at one point those charges cause this light phenomenon that we see here. Okay, so as usual, shall continue with this phenomenon. And of course, those things that provoke, they are dreaming up new antibodies, as if there is no law that guides, quote unquote, antibody behavior. There is a law, but they are trying to pretend like they are above the law, and this is the type of thinking that gets people into trouble, creates plagues and stuff like that, right? Because they think they're above the law and they can do anything. They think they're God. Well, you're not above good and evil. Nobody is. Nobody is. Okay, and we have to make a clear distinction between what is evil and what is good, and make an effort to choose good. Key word is there, make an effort. Okay, make an effort to choose. Okay, because many many psychologists have given out this expression that like you have to teach children good behavior, but bad behavior, they know it by nature. They just do. But they also, like adults, when they are awake, when they are quote unquote enlightened, then they have to make choices every day until the end of their lives. Okay, it's not a one-time type of situation. Okay. Okay. Unless we change our nature, then we become not under the law. Yeah. And our nature meaning that we die. Okay, we are not again under some form of law, but we are introduced to another form of law. Okay, so that is just a thing to keep in our minds. These are people that believe that there is no law, there is no order. Yeah? Law and order comes and goes hand in hand. Yeah, they go hand in hand. Well, you as a creator, you have the ability to examine and quantify human and dolphin intelligence. Does the dolphin have the ability to quantify human and dolphin intelligence? I don't think so. So they can't be more intelligent than humans. This is that provocative tendency. Yeah? The scripture says Adam and Eve were given rulership and ownership of the entirety of creation. They even gave the names. Okay? We gave names to these, what we know as dolphins. We do it every day, don't we? Every time we discover a new species, we don't call a dolphin to name the thing, we name it ourselves. That is ownership. But since they are anti-nature, they become destructive in their ways. Because they either think they're above the law or they hate the law. One of the two. You know, because there are those who are thrown in a loop believing that these people do not believe that the law exists, but rather they are in rebellion of the law. That's the reality. They are in rebellion of the law. And being in rebellion, first you have to recognize that the law exists in the first place. And like those who pursue good, they make an effort to pursue evil, to break these laws. So they get destroyed, or they destroy themselves. Have these events this event he says that there was no tunnel or light or heavenly choir. You are near death. What do you mean you saw the light? More of these false prophets. And this guy, it seems there's a theme here with all of these attacks. There's a theme going on here. They seem to be going for the eye. Just like some police force out there that only targets individuals' eyes with rubber bullets to give them a black eye like that in worship of their God. This is quite an eye-opener into our history. So most of us think that these fireplaces actually burnt wood. Well, that's only true if we believe that electricity was quote-unquote discovered by that guy flying a kite and a key. Yeah? But if not, then maybe. might have been electric. Might have been electric. And when we try to repurpose, look what happens. This is rather my message to the secret, hidden ones. I know why you did this, just like I know why you did that. Hakuna matata, right? I see you. And of course, we talked about the evil things that they have been doing. This is evil. This is provocative behavior, right? We can see it is provocative because look at the results, yeah? They cook up animals that some of them can't even breathe properly. Pugs, or bulldogs, or chihuahuas. They are so mutated that chihuahuas, that their eyes might pop out of their socket because of their stupid little skulls. Now that is provocative behavior that we have been talking about. Another provocative behavior, right? They have to double down on the argument. They say the thing glitched, some wires were disconnected, but they did an update, they adjusted the quote-unquote algorithm. Now the guy can do more than what he could do before the faultiness of the device. Oh really? Oh really? They need to have power and control over you, and this is the way. So when we say that we live on a plane, so most people have this vision in their minds. None of us do. None of us who hold the opinion do. First and foremost, we do not believe that the sun is outside the firmament, it's inside the firmament. And there is no such thing as space. All of these stars are inside, above the surface, hanging in suspension. Just like those kids' toys that they put on above their beds. That's exactly what the sky is doing. It's rotating. It's rotating above us. This is not what we mean when we say that. And when a person brings up a picture like this, I know that they are truly going in the wrong direction. Even this, I watched this video, and the way he explained this parable here is actually the wrong way. What this parable means is this. The angels were looking at the earth, and because they are not gods, they discovered that, hey, there is a foreigner, there is a new being amongst the humans, and those were called the weeds. Those were called the weeds. And of course, the weeds look like wheat. Yeah, so the angels wanted to take action. He said, God, send us down there so as we can destroy these weeds that are bothering and sucking off the life of this nutrient. And God said, no, 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 no. Let them grow together. And at the end of the day, I will send you over there to separate the weeds, and of course, and the wheat, and you shall bundle them together. Yeah, bundle the wheat and bundle the tares. The wheat will go into storage, or what we call as heaven or the new kingdom, and the tares will go into the fire. That's the explanation of this parable here. But he does not recognize that the tares exist in the first place. The scripture does say that giants will exist, just like in the days of Noah. Giants will even exist at the end of days. So the Nephilim are still here. They are the cause of our suffering. If they are not harming humanity with the use of physical means, then they are inside people or besides people, influencing, tipping that scale of good and evil towards the evil. Yeah, that's why we as people have to choose every day to do good. We have to choose. It has to be a choice. So just talk that I had to share with you today. But we shall see each other. We shall see each other when we see each other. General Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.